right? Like I have to actively know how to make more than 3 things because I have to make my own dinner every night. And
welcome to adulthood, bitch. Welcome back. Thank you for clicking. Today, we're going to be looking at adult problems that nobody prepared you for. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's go ahead and begin.
What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for?
Second, buy frozen fruit and vegetables. These are typically
picked
at their ripest point, so they actually have more vitamins and minerals than fresh fruit and vegetables. Third,
yes, and the thing with fresh fruits is that once it comes off the vine, it's starting the deterioration process, right? It starts decaying. But with frozen fruit, right, flash freeze it immediately as they move it off like the vine, and once they've prepared it, they freeze it at some point, so that way it locks in all the nutrients, as opposed to fresh vegetables where like once it's on the shelf, it's decaying. Like once it's there, it starts to decay. You get it, and the decay process continues until you put it in the fridge, right? Once it's in the fridge, that reduces the amount of decay that's happening, but it's still decaying.
I wonder how life became so lonely after high school.
Friend group is gone because everybody's doing different things. They move, they go to different schools, they're doing a whole different discipline. All sorts of things happen. It can get dark, and that, you know, I'm not gonna share that. But yeah, your friends group is going to become smaller. People are going to, you know, lose connection with each other. But that it's not out of spite or hatred for you or for the person, hopefully. But you know, people have to move on with their lives. They have other things to do. They got goals, man. But it does get kind of lonely sometimes.
And I mean, the fact that we live in a time where there's COVID, it didn't help at all. Other than that, life after high school, pre-COVID, was still kind of lonely, bro. Unless you didn't have that tight bond of like group of friends in high school, once you started college, everybody just disappeared. And then like everybody in college does not care about you. They go in and out of that campus to get their work done, and that's it.
Yeah, it's very similar to like work. Like you go to work, you do your job, and then you leave. You're not trying to like build friendships at work sometimes because some of these people ain't worth it. Yeah, it does get pretty lonely in life after high school. So if you're in high school right now, that's the best time to make friends. College is, you can make a lot of friends in college. I made new friends at college. But like, yeah, it's pretty interesting how much of a melting pot high school is, and it allows you to actually talk and meet new people. It's really, some people say it's the best time of your life. I don't think so. But it's a great time to make friends.
Like forced to do projects or whatever. And like that's a big change because in high school we're kind of forced to interact with each other. We were in the same building 5 times a week, you know. But like that's not the case anymore. And that's why networking is something so important that they didn't teach us. Being able to learn a skill that help you make more bonds with people. Because right now we're all on our solo mission.
This. After being kidnapped, raped, and beaten into a coma, I never expected to be homeless. I had straight A's in high school. I had straight A's all the way through my double master's degree. I worked for 15 years in corporate and woke up after being beaten into a coma to find that all of my family was dead. I could not contact any friends for their safety, and everything that I owned had either been confiscated, stolen, or completely destroyed. All I owned was the clothes on my back, which was a tank top, a pair of panties, and a pair of socks. And the cops even tried to arrest me for it, for indecent exposure.
Whoa, what the fuck? But yeah, the older you get in life, the more you realize that shit's not, there's no such thing as a fairy tale. The only fairy tale is being born rich or being born very attractive. But even then, if you're born very attractive, depending on where you are, that's a goddamn nightmare. It's a fucking curse for some people. If you know, you know. Yeah, life doesn't prepare you for all of the hardships, bro. And most adults don't tell you that homelessness is a thing. Drug abuse is a thing. Emotional abuse is a thing. Like, constant worry that you're going to get jumped or like kidnapped is a thing. Yeah, like stressful, man.
What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for?
You have to pay for garbage. You have to pay for water. You have to pay for electricity. You have to pay for gas. You have to pay for your car. You have to pay for homeowners or renters insurance. You have to pay for car insurance. You have to pay for car maintenance and oil changes and gasoline. You have to...
Dude, there's an expense every fucking where. That's one that, yo, take care of your health. You don't want that, dude. Fuck, everything's an expense and you can pay for it, right? So get yourself a good job, take care of your fucking health. Because once your body starts to deteriorate, it gets really expensive. Dude, take care of your health. Don't get diabetes. Reduce your stress. Change your diet. Don't drink no alcohol. Like, bro, take care of everybody now so that way in the next 10 years, you don't have to worry about like diabetes high blood pressure and all of that, and then you have to constantly pay for medication. Like, dude, it's gonna happen the longer you live, but try your best to reduce the rate at which you deteriorate your body. Like, fuck, that's a massive expense that you don't really want. I don't want it. I've seen enough old people that have to suffer with that. It's suffering.
Pay for education. You have to pay for the government taxes. You have to pay for the doctor. You have to pay for what the doctor does to you, even though they ordered the lab and you don't know what the fuck you're
You still have to pay for it. Like,
doing. You have to pay for vision insurance separately. You have to pay for dental insurance separately. Whose idea was that to make dental insurance separate
they're
from health
fucking
insurance?
yeah,
You
they're
have to pay
fucking
for
guys.
food. You have to pay for drinks. You have to pay for clothing to keep you warm. You have to pay for literally everything. Everything. Life insurance? You have to pay for your own life insurance? What?
Boy, oh boy, have I been waiting for this one. The jocks and or frat boys, they don't ever outgrow it. They just become sexual offenders.
I don't know if that. I never really hung out with jocks. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I hung out with nerds, obviously, right?
In the future. Cheese is very expensive. Everybody casually does cocaine, which I haven't quite
Bumbuckler, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of people doing drugs that you you didn't know that they're doing the drugs until like you got older and you realize, you guys do all sorts of shit.
fully grasped yet, even though I used to have a cocaine addiction. Kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't, even after so long. $1,000 is like 20 bucks. If you have enough money, you...
It's true. Like, it's not that much money. Like, when you're a kid, it's like, oh, $1,000, goddamn. But when you start paying bills, like, bitch, this ain't shit.
You don't need to go to college to be successful.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You don't have to go, but it gives you, I think having a degree that gives you the capacity to do a very skilled job, gives you some buffer or padding in case, life goes south, in case like you need to have a high paying job because you have health expenses, you have too much debt, you have like kids to feed. Like having a college degree really does help in that regard. But yeah, you don't need to have one to be successful. That's very true. And some degrees are better than others. Don't let nobody trick you.
You don't need to work a 9 to 5 to be successful. Your biggest supporters are going to be the strangers online because nobody where you grew up wants to see you succeed in the same
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
place that you came from.
Quality throw pillows are really fucking expensive. Rugs are also very fucking expensive.
You see, I don't got rugs. Fuck that shit. It would be better for the acoustics in the room, but I think rugs, they just trap too much dirt. Like, you have to clean them constantly. They're soft, like, yeah, but you have to constantly clean them. Otherwise, they get really dirty, and then you have more dust and debris in the room once you walk on it. I don't think it's worth it.
That you need to clean the filter in the bottom of your dishwasher. That you need to replace the filter in the top of your fridge. That you are literally going to do a load of laundry every day for the rest of your life.
No, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Like, you're supposed to do like a laundry like once a week or every 2 weeks. Like, how many loads of laundry you doing?
And it doesn't stop. That in the adult world, $1,000 is about the equivalent of 20 when we were.
It's not that much money, bro. Like, and it just goes. As soon as you get paid, the bill's like, hey, bitch, what's happening? Expenses just keep coming out the woodwork.
A kid. That depending on the career path you choose to take, college is literally a waste of time and money.
Don't let anybody trick you. Getting a degree in like liberal studies or the arts, that's you gambling with your money right there. Going to STEM, do it.
For a solid 50+% of people. How quickly fruits and vegetables expire.
Like, bro, you buy bananas, you take them, they're nice and yellow. You put them in the fridge, you open it, and the next day, them motherfuckers brown. They got the spots going. It's like, fuck, what? The temperature difference is that much? Come on, Joe.
Taxes are hard and they suck. Having a pet is really like having another child.
They're expensive. When dogs get sick, bro. I did volunteer work at a veterinary office. Dude, that shit gets expensive. If your dog gets like sick, you have to pay for that. If they have like worms, you have to pay for it and give them medication and like, no.
It's no wonder our parents always said, being tired literally all the time. All the time.
Yeah, you don't have no energy after you're done work. It's like, come on, man, I don't want to do anything.
You know how adults tell you when you're a kid, like, oh, you have all the time in the world. No, you don't. No, you don't. You absolutely.
That's a lie. Fucking lie. But if you tell that to kids, that's gonna stress them out. So you can say that you have time up until like you're 20, but you need to like get your act together for real.
This is gonna be good. You only date within your economic class. Cinderella story never.
A lot of women need to hear this. Like, a lot of people need to hear this. Like, fairy tales, they don't exist. It's not healthy to look at fairy tales, man, and expect like your relationship to follow those things. Is not good. Okay, setting yourself up for failure. That's true. You date within like your friend group. That's true. And they have a lot of. I remember when I was in high school, men that wouldn't get a lot of attention from women, they would think that they would be able to get like very attractive women just because they're nice guys. And I'm like, no, you're living in fantasy land, sir. It's not how shit works. Like, if people like you, they like you. They like you romantically, then that's what you're looking for. But like, they were living in fantasy land.
It happens. Partying turns to substance and alcohol abuse within most of your friends if they don't stop it until they're.
There's quite a few people that like abuse alcohol. You see, I'm not sure why exactly this happened, but it's something that I noticed. Like, people will abuse alcohol hard. I'm not. Other drugs, people use it in moderation, but alcohol is something that people just chug it down, even though like it's pretty goddamn bad for you, especially in large amounts of a long period of time. It's like the devil. Like, you don't know it's there, right? It's legal. There's a lot of alcohol abuse and drug abuse that happens, but alcohol, yeah, that's a big one.
32. You can look weird, act weird, and talk weird as long as you're making money, and normal people will still respect you.
Yes, you see this with like musical artists. When you are weird and you're broke, people don't want to hang around you. But if you're weird and you're successful in different rooms, like if you're weird in school, people still don't want to deal with you. But if you have money, people look at you and say, oh, you're eccentric, you're a creative. Full of shit. Money makes a big time difference. And even the appearance of having money, even though you may not have it, that's another thing.
Nobody ever really grows up and changes. They learn to mask most of their shitty personality traits.
Yes. That's why you need to like go to therapy or do research on what exactly is happening in your head and why you're doing the thing that you're doing. Yeah, there's a lot of masking of bad personality traits that people do, but it still comes out. You still notice it if you know what to look for.
Compatibility is way more important than infatuation in relationships.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! I know of people that will get together. They'll knock boots, but then there's nothing there. But then they proceed to going into a relationship with each other, even though they're sexually attracted to each other, but they're not a good fit for each other. Maybe you've seen that too, right? But that happens. Yeah, it probably happened to her.
It's really hard to find, make, and maintain friendships.
Oh,
Most of the people around you at some point will start hating novelty and change, and they will admit to it and be proud of it.
I think I used to do that when I was younger, but then like I grew out of it thanks to my friends encouraging me to try new things. But yeah, you don't want to lose that ability to like experience new things as you get older.
And that's infuriating. A lot of people pretend to be experts and know what they're doing when they're not.
Fucking dating coaches, fuck them bitches. Those guys are swindle. Yeah. Dating coaches are like life coaches. They're just trying to get money out of you just to give you advice on shit that you can just research. Dude, if you're going to spend your money on a dating coach or a life coach, don't pay for a life coach under the age of 30. What the fuck are they gonna teach you? No. Go to a therapist, find a mentor, an older person, and talk to them, get advice from them. But don't fucking pay a motherfucker for that shit. No. And if you're having problems dating, as I say, go to therapy, do some reading online. But like, the money is better spent with a therapist than with. Now, even therapy I have a problem with, because some of those people, I don't think they actually help. They're just trying to get you medicated so that you keep coming to them and spending money with them. But find a good therapist, you'd probably be a lot better off. Like, every time I talk to people that go through therapy, they're like, yo, this is good shit. Yeah.
Money. We are literally playing a fucking game. Like, we go to the store and shop. We buy things. Just change dollars into points. Now imagine you have 300 points, but the item you want requires you to have 400 points. What do you need to do to get those extra points? You need to go play a game. You need to go work or do something so you can get those extra points. And once you do this task, you get coins. And the coins have values. And the value is the number of points you get. It's made up. Yeah, we all know this and we're all sick and tired of it. But I'm not just repeating this just to repeat it. This is dangerous. We don't know how to do shit for ourselves because as long as we have points, someone else can do it for us. What are we going to do when the economy crashes? Because this isn't going to last forever.
Well, economies have crashed before, but usually something changes. Usually economies can repair themselves. Well, we can repair economies. But like, yeah, economies have crashed before. It's not the first time.
That nobody prepared you for.
A few things. One, scheduling my own...
This guy's cadence annoys me. The way he speaks is kind of... It's annoying for me. Yeah.
Doctor's appointments, because, like, I'll call sometimes and I'm like, hi, is this a hospital? And they're like, who are you? And then I hang up because I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
I don't connect with this. Like, calling a doctor's office is not that hard. Once, like, if you're having difficulty doing this, what you can do, give yourself a little script. Hi, is this the doctor's office? Okay, I want to set an appointment at this time. Is that available? If it's not available, ask them what time they're available, and then you can check and see if you're available for that time. It's not really that hard, but I guess there's a guide.
And then also, like dinner, right? Like I have to actively know how to make more than 3 things because I have to make my own dinner every night. And
welcome to adulthood, bitch. So I'm so glad my grandma taught me how to cook. That my granny taught me how to like cook a meal for myself.
Till I die, and I can't just be eating spaghetti and peanut butter sandwiches. I think that might shorten my lifespan. Also medicine, right? When a doctor prescribes you something to take, and it's like, take 2 of these like every 6 hours. I'm like, okay, cool, I heard that, right? But I still need to like ask my parents just to make sure. I'm like, hey, like I'll try to do it like slightly. I'll be like, oh yeah, the doctor says to take 2 of these every 6 hours. Does that sound right? Like, is that?
You can ask the doctor questions. Like when you're going into a store to buy anything or pay for a service, you can ask questions, and usually if they have a problem answering your question, is because that person lacks the knowledge to give you the answer. There's nothing wrong with you inquiring about a service or product. Nothing wrong. Especially if a doctor is giving it to you, you can talk to the doctor and say, hey, why do I need to do this? What's in it? What are the side effects? It's okay to talk to them and get more information, right? I think that's what's happening here to this guy.
Is that right? And my parents are like, do you not know? I'm like, can you tell me? Because I'm scared.
It's so fucking lonely. Oh my God.
I was always kind of a loner, so it never really like bothered me too much. But like, yeah, sometimes you're like, hey man, I'm alone here. What the fuck? But like, you're on that journey, you're on that grind, so it's a lonely grind. But yeah, it gets pretty lonely as an adult. I would say for me, right?
Everybody is either at work, having kids, getting married, or depressed.
Being depressed is a full-time job. There's a lot of people who are depressed for real. Like there's a lot of people that are depressed and they don't know. Like that's sad. Yeah, I don't think I'm high in the depression category. I still get bummed out, but not like, oh man, nothing feels good anymore. Well, no, that's happened before, but it doesn't happen long. But some people like depression, like people that have depression, they would tell you, hey man, you don't want that. Like I'll take a broken arm. Some people, I've heard people say they take a broken arm as opposed to the depression. I'm like, God damn, that's serious.
It doesn't work. What am I supposed to do? Buy furniture? Buy food? That's all I do.
Some people fill the void in their life by buying stuff, but hobbies are great for that. Like if you're lonely as an adult, I would highly recommend getting into a hobby that you enjoy or trying new hobbies to see which one you enjoy. And in that, you get to meet people and talk to them over the hobby. So that's pretty fun. It's something to do.
I talk to this painting. What? This shit is lonely.
Okay, this is something I have been struggling with ever since I got into the corporate world about 6 years ago. Some people are just really bad at their jobs.
Yeah. Like I've been bad at a job before. It fucking sucks, but at least I realized it and I found out, all right, I'm not good at this job. So I moved on to another one. But yeah, you got some people that are bad at their jobs and they don't care to get better at the job. They don't ask questions. If I'm at work and I have a problem, I will ask a coworker like, hey, what do you think of this? What's happening here? But a lot of people don't want to do that, and they will try and point blame at everything else except themselves, and then they don't grow. They cause problems for their coworkers. It's just a painful thing to deal with.
And if you are a chronic overachiever or a perfectionist, this is really, really hard for you to deal with, because I personally feel like I'm very reliable and I have a high level of accountability, and I just thought everybody else did too. But some people just...
I learned this in college. Like, quite a few people, you can't even rely on people to give you like 5 pages for a project. You can't even rely on them for that. Maybe you got lucky, right? Maybe you got lucky when it comes to God, but I learned that in college, yo. A lot of these motherfuckers ain't shit.
Don't take responsibility for their actions and don't think it's their responsibility to do their job well.
I have to figure out what to eat 3 times a day, every day, for the rest of my fucking life.
Dude, well, what you can do is like find things that you like and just like build a system around that. Like, all right, for breakfast I'll eat this, for dinner I'll eat that. You know, can do that. Makes things easier. But like, there's a lot of choices that you need to make on a regular basis, and it wears you down. Yeah. I can see why like Steve Jobs is like, bitch, fuck it, I'm just wearing a turtleneck all the time. Like there's too many decisions to make as you get older. You have so many decisions to make that it wears you down throughout the day. It's not like just when you're in school, you get up, put on your uniform, put on your clothes, go to school, you learn, take notes, then you come home. As an adult, you have to pay the bills, you need to adjust for whatever job that you're working for. It depends on what you're doing, but you need to adjust for the job depending on if you have a new client. Do you need to onboard that client with new information? Do you need to reassess your brief? Do you need to go to a meeting and make notes that you need to apply when you're doing the job? And then after the job, you need to go and get the groceries. Then you need to go and like get something else for the house. You need to like fix something that maybe got broken in the house. There's a lot of decisions that you need to make. Nobody prepares you for those. As a kid, they don't.
That shit gets tiring.
I swear that time moves so much faster now. I blink and the day is over. I swear when I was a kid, time used to go by so slow. So slow. Literally the months are going by so fast. I feel like I'm getting old.
It depends on, like, I don't really feel that. Like, maybe I'm different, but like, I understand that time moves at the same pace, but my perception of time is what the differentiating factor there. So it doesn't feel like time is moving faster or slower. I just realized that I'm ignoring the pace at which time moves when I'm doing something else. Right? So if you're doing something that you enjoy, time's gonna move faster. If you're doing some slog, then you're gonna look at the time to hope that you can leave that place faster. But I don't feel like time is moving faster. Not generally, but it depends on what I'm doing, yeah. But that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.